reinstate both Ridgecrest and Mojave courthouses as immediate needs to the state budget.
Without court, you don't have justice. You don't have justice, you don't have quality life.
District Attorney Cynthia Zimmer wrote that the current consolidation plan would create undue burden on communities in East Kern and turn these literal desert communities into legal deserts. Zimmer also claiming that reducing the number of courthouses in East Kern sends the wrong message to crime victims.
I don't think that they've taken in great consideration of the people and what their needs are.
During the first of 3 scheduled information meetings, Judge Bradshaw addressed several justice partners, admitting that the original court's process was flawed. While filming of the meetings was not allowed, he said the human element in the 4-to-1 courtroom plan was not considered. He sees merit, however, in the idea, citing things like the need for judicial officers, for court reporters during felony cases, and the amount of funding already put into the project.
I really hope that Judge Bradshaw considers what was said today, because there was a lot of strong arguments.
Now, Judge Bradshaw says that the Judicial Council has several meetings scheduled throughout the month of June in which he plans to present some of these considerations in hope of providing a better option for the community. However, the city of Ridgecrest says that they hope no matter what plan moves forward, they want a commitment that their courthouse will not be set aside throughout this effort. Reporting in Ridgecrest, I'm Veronica Morley, 23 ABC, connecting you.
All right, over to weather here. We're talking warmer weather in our forecast. Certainly had a warm up today, but still just shy of the average high for this time of year. 88 degrees, certainly not terrible anytime we're below that average number. We'll take that. We're going to be back above average fairly soon, though. 92 for Saturday, 95 on Sunday, so a warm-up is on the way. But that's not the only story here. We're tracking a cool down and some rain next week. We're going to look at that coming up later in the show.
Brandon, thanks so much. The state of California is working on addressing the surge of hate crimes, with the Attorney General traveling across the state to meet with local leaders to talk about potential solutions. 23 ABC's Ruby Rivera joins us. She attended the 11th Roundtable Conference to take up this matter and has more about what was discussed today. Ruby.
That's right, Mark. During today's conference, California Attorney General Rob Bonta said the state currently has the highest number of hate crimes since 9/11, with the lowest year of hate crimes being in 2014 with only 758 reported offenses. General Bonta now saying the time is now to rise above the hate.
Anti-Latino hate crimes increased by 29%. Crimes motivated by sexual orientation rose nearly 48%. Crimes motivated by anti-Semitism rose 32%. So the common theme is the hate crimes are rising.
Looking at the numbers locally, Sergeant Robert Pear with the Bakersfield Police Department says we've had 1 reported hate crime so far this year involving racial violence. In 2022, Bakersfield saw 5 reported hate crimes, with 2 of those targeting sexual orientation, 3 cases targeting race, with 1 black, white, and Indian victim. 2021 had 7 reported cases with targeting sexual violence and 6 targeting race, with 1 white victim, 3 black victims, 1 Hispanic victim, and 1 Indian victim. Bonta adding that these numbers listed is only counting what's been reported. He says the real issue stems from the specifics that a hate crime needs. According to the 2021 California Hate Crime Report, a hate crime is defined as a criminal act committed in whole or in part because one or more of the following or actual perceived characteristics of the victim: disability, gender, nationality, race or ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or association with a person or group with one or more of these actual perceived characteristics. Bonta says the ways to combat these crimes is to counteract the hate by joining forces with community members.
The solution to hate is the opposite of hate, and celebrating our beautiful diversity and inclusion and sense of belonging with events, where we come together, where we uplift our diverse communities.
General Bonta says out of all the roundtable conferences he's been to, this has been the most insightful and wise, and appreciates the number of solutions brought up by other panel members. And he says he's optimistic about the progress on this issue. In studio, Ruby Rivera, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Ruby, thank you very much for that. And though hate crimes are not common in California, they are not unheard of. 23 ABC is taking an in-depth look at the latest data on hate crimes in the state. According to the most recent numbers released by the Attorney General's office, in 2021, hate crimes committed in California rose by nearly 30% from 2020. Reported hate crimes targeting black people were most prevalent, increasing by 12.5%. since 2020. And since the pandemic began, reports of hate crimes against Asian Americans have increased by 177%. Since then, Governor Gavin Newsom has allocated more than $30 million in funding to hate crime prevention throughout the state. The May jobs report released today, giving Americans a new read on the economy. The numbers show the U.S. labor market isn't ready to slow down just yet after more jobs were added than expected across several industries. Ivan Rodriguez reports on what this means for the economy and what it means for the Federal Reserve going into its next meeting.
The latest jobs report shattering expectations. In May, employers added 339,000 jobs, way above the 190,000 economists had expected. In a statement, President Joe Biden says today is a good day for the American economy and American workers. Chief economist for ADP, Neela Richardson, says the labor market is strong but extremely fragmented.
Manufacturing actually shed jobs in our private sector report. Leisure and hospitality, again, a big gainer. Two, that this strength is really driven by small firms. Large firms seem to be pulling back on their hiring. And three, we're finally seeing pay growth decelerate meaningfully.
Although the average jobs numbers so far this year are below 2022 levels, the May gains remain elevated from pre-pandemic times where 163,000 jobs were added per month in 2019. The unemployment rate also ticked up to 3.7% from 3.4%.
There's still pockets where firms are struggling to find qualified talent. At 3.4%, that means there's not a lot of give in the labor market. There's not a lot of people just sitting on the sidelines waiting to be scooped up.
As it continues monitoring the labor market, the Federal Reserve will meet later this month to consider whether to raise interest rates for an 11th consecutive time. Richardson says her hope is for hiring not to be impacted, even if those rates keep rising.
That is the definition of a soft landing in my eyes, is that the labor market stays strong even with higher interest rates.
I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Funeral services were held this morning for local veteran Bruce Rimmer. He was laid to rest at Bakersfield National Cemetery in Arvin. Doc Rimmer, as he was known, served in the U.S. Coast Guard and as a captain in the Air Force, but he's best known as a local dentist and an avid sports fan and antique car enthusiast. He provided dental care for hundreds of local residents and roamed the sidelines at his alma mater, BHS, for years. He was one of the early season ticket holders for the Oilers, Fog, and Condors that included many players as clients, and he even showed up on 23 ABC from time to time. The former president of the Model T chapter in Bakersfield was escorted to the cemetery in his 1912 Model T. Michael Bruce Rimmer was 75 years old. Okay, let's go outside for a live look from our downtown studios. Brandon, warm for the weekend, much warmer than the work week. A little birdie told me that. It was you.
Yeah, it was me, yeah. And it's what we always love to see, right? Beautiful weather while we're at our desk, and then the moment we have time off, jumps right into the 90s.
And we stay inside.
Yes, exactly. And that's probably what's going to be the case for many of us this weekend. But if you want to get outdoors before we get into the 90s here, now is a good time to do it. 85 degrees is a little bit warm, but those temperatures, as we're going to see here in just a second, are going to be falling nicely through the evening. We do still have some graduations tonight, so beautiful weather for those, hovering right around 80 degrees for most of the ceremony, which is very, very good for us. We know we can have graduations in the triple digits here in Kern County, so 80 is certainly a welcome stretch of weather. But as I said, it's not going to be a long-lived stretch of weather. It's not terrible tomorrow, but we're certainly getting warmer. 92 degrees is tolerable. We're not in the triple digits, but it's a pretty good step up from where we've been all week, and certainly not as comfortable. Nicer in the mountains, at least. Some upper 70s there. And look at the desert, 96 for China Lake. And Ridgecrest, calmer conditions expected, which is pretty typical with some high pressure building in, which is exactly what we're tracking. It's a little tough to see, but you can kind of see that little outline there. That's a little high pressure ridge that's going to be building in. But the reason I'm showing you this map is not for that. It's for what's happening as we head into next week. This area of low pressure starts to move in, and that's going to bring in some cooler temperatures back to the forecast, which is, of course, good news, but also some moisture. So we've got some rain chances to talk about as we head into the extended forecast here. Let's start with tomorrow. Again, not a terrible day. Through about lunchtime, we're comfortable, and then we get a little bit warm into the afternoon. Moderate air quality, so we will be hazy, which is pretty typical with high pressure building in as well. Looks to be Sunday where the heat is peaking. 95 degrees. degrees there. And then we start to head into the other direction. 88 by Monday, 80s for all of next week. That's pretty nice. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, though, some clouds back in the forecast as moisture arrives with that low pressure system, even including some small rain chances here in the valley. And those could actually go up a bit as we learn a little bit more about this system over the weekend. Mountain communities, again, warmer this weekend, near 90 for Lake Isabella, near 80 degrees for the South Mountains, tapering off into next week. But the rain chances for the mountains do look a little bit better. Definitely the chance there for some showers, even some thunderstorms to develop early next week. So we'll be watching the radar and, of course, watching the models this weekend and keeping you updated.
Brandon, thanks so much. We appreciate it. In honor of National Cancer Survivors Month, the Comprehensive Blood and Cancer Center of Kern County held its 3rd annual Cancer Survivors event today in Southwest Bakersfield. The center says the event serves as a testament to its commitment of providing a platform for survivors to share their stories, connect with others who have faced similar challenges, and access valuable resources. We caught up with Carrie Johnson. She's been battling breast cancer for the last 7 years, but yesterday she learned that she was finally cancer-free.
Yeah, I just want to encourage people that you never fight alone, and you know, if you ever find yourself or a family member connected to cancer, reach out. Don't ever stay isolated. Come into community with other cancer survivors because there's a story of hope for you, and you know, evidence proves, you know, when we have a strong faith and we're surrounded by community, that we'll survive, and so not only that, we'll thrive.
Johnson was one of many survivors from diverse backgrounds and age groups that were given the opportunity to share their triumphs and challenges along their path to recovery. Coming up, another local athlete is headed to college to play the sport they love. See where Bryson Waterman is going next in sports.